Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 was released on October 28th of 2001. This was the first Tony Hawk game to appear on the PlayStation 2 and GameCube and was leaps and bounds ahead of the previous two games in terms of gameplay and graphics. The game is actually tied with GTA 3 as the best critically rated game on the PlayStation 2 according to Metacritic. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, in my opinion, was the best entry to the entire Tony Hawk series. I like the game so much, I actually own versions for it on the PS2, GameCube, and PlayStation 1. The gameplay in this game is very similar to that of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, however it refines the format greatly. The goal of the game is to perform certain tasks in a allotted amount of time. For the regular levels in Tony Hawk 3, you'll have 2 minutes. This is actually the last Tony Hawk game that would have a timer on the levels. Every level has the same 5 tasks that need to be completed. There are 3 tiers of points you need to reach, the word skate that you need to spell out, and a hidden tape that you need to find. There are also 3 trick attack levels where you need to get a certain score in 1-minute intervals. In order to get points, you have to perform tricks. There are 5 types of tricks: flips, grabs, grinds, manuals, and lip tricks. By stringing these tricks together, you'll be able to get much higher scores if you're able to land the tricks. I find the easiest way to string together a lot of tricks is by grinding and manualing. Both with grinding and manualing, you need to maintain your balance or you'll fall off and end your string. There are also special tricks you can perform that are harder to do but will give the greatest reward for performing them. The tone of the game with many of the entries in the Tony Hawk series is wacky and fun. It's a totally unrealistic skating game that has you whizzing through environments doing tricks off everything. The level design in this Tony Hawk game is top-notch. The levels are drastically larger than the games before it. They're full of little hidden secrets and places to explore. The game also features my favorite Tony Hawk level, the airport. I love this level because there's a loop near the baggage claim that you're able to just get massive points from grinding a horseshoe shape forever. Graphically, this game is a massive step up from the previous Tony Hawk games. This isn't too surprising because the game took an entire console generation lead. The PlayStation 1 version of the game looks pretty horrible by comparison to the next-gen versions. The controls are also more responsive on the newer generation as well. Depending on how you feel about early 2000s post-punk, you either love or hate the soundtrack. A lot of the music on the soundtrack brings back tons of memories of playing the game right after I got my GameCube. I think overall the soundtrack is pretty good. Between the 3 versions of the game I have, I feel that the GameCube version is the best. This is mainly because the controller with the giant A button feels great with this game. When I first got the game for the GameCube, I was a little skeptical about the controls, having only played it on the PlayStation controller, but once you get used to playing it on the GameCube controller, the game controls wonderfully. I also noticed the PlayStation 2 version has slightly longer loading times than the GameCube version. The PlayStation 1 version is easily the worst because it's really just inferior in almost every way. According to PriceCharting.com, the game will run you only $3 to get it. If this game isn't already in your collection, it's hard to come up with a reason not to go pick it up. Critically, the game was extremely well received when it was released in 2002. It's one of only 7 games to receive a 10 out of 10 from GameSpot. It was also one of the first 2 games that I owned for my GameCube. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 is still super fun 10 years after its release, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who hasn't tried it.
Yeah.